tough decisions. So, and you can't be afraid to when you make these decisions. You can't be afraid of them because some might not look good, or you might want to go a different direction sometimes. And it's just the nature of the beast. So, Patrick and Jim are really experienced in this sort of stuff, and they know what we're trying to do here. So that's the way you look at it.
What does it say about the quality of depth you have organizationally now that these decisions are going to be?
Yeah, I mean, there's you're having maybe in the past you only have like one call up. Now you got 3 or 4 guys that are viable to come up and if you need those guys for injuries.
With Garland, is it truly like day to day at this point?
Yeah.
You've got like the benefit of some time.
Yeah.
Would you give him the whole weekend off here if he needs it? Or
I mean, I don't want you guys hold me to the word, but I think he might skate more. I'm not sure though, but it is day to day, But like I said, I know that opening is always big for everybody, and I'm not saying him or anybody. You just got to make sure that you do the proper things.
What have you seen from your third pair in Forbert and Desharnais in terms of puck moving and transitioning? Are you seeing what you need to see there, or is that going to be a work in progress?
For Forberg, really happy we got him. I think smart guy, really good in the PK. We knew he was an aggressive guy, but I really like some of his stuff out there. And Vinny is, the thing with Vinny, there's a lot of boxes we got him. He checks the box for us, and there's stuff he's got to work on. Like right now, he's still on the ice. He's still with Gaunch. He wants to work at his game. He wants his details, and he's just going to get better. So, I'm happy with him. And like I said, I love the fact that a guy like Vinny, even Forberg's he's been a pleasant surprise in the sense that he's a really good leader also. But the way Vinny works on the ice is something that we really appreciate.
Where do you see Forbert's? Like he seems like a kind of not quiet guy, but not as loud maybe as some of the other guys. Like where do you see his leadership?
Yeah, no, I did some intel on Boston. Very well liked guy. Montgomery loved him. He's actually not as quiet as people think. Not afraid to talk to me, which I like, and whether joke around. He's a veteran guy. You can just tell. Very easy going, but not afraid to speak up. So I've only known him for like 3 weeks, and I'm really happy with him.
Heinen, Patrick had him in Pittsburgh, so obviously he knows him. How well did you know him, and what type of intel did you do with him?
Yeah, I think just hockey IQ. Very smooth type of player, kind of can play up and down the lineup. But saying that, I think he can be pushed into another level. I think there's another level there. I really, I think he wants that other level, and he's getting a chance with Millsy and Bess, and where he can score some goals and get some points for us. I see it there. Look at that pass last night to Baines on a power play. I mean, that's a no look. Knowing our system power play where the guy was, and he threw a blind. He knew the guy was there. So, that's the sort of stuff he can do for us.
You talked about getting the defense a little bit more involved in the offense, that transition game. How long do you think it's going to take before those guys are actually reacting rather than trying to think things through?
Yeah, reps. It's practicing high pace that we do, and it's implemented in the game. Even like for me, it's more movement on the blue line. We've given them some more concepts, maybe more D dives, have the D activate on the weak side, have a little confidence when to go. I think really when it comes to those guys is when do I go, when I don't. That's really, but that's reps, and that's being confident that everybody's in position. And it's also time and score. We don't need 2D going down there when we're up a goal. Like you got to be smart. And we actually talked about game management today.
So when you talk about reps and all that, I mean, usually what's the timeline on that? Maybe like 20 games or 15 or?
I mean, honestly I don't know. I mean, you look at the guys that improved last year. A lot of guys improved last year, had really good years. It goes to each individual. I don't know, but the one thing I'm not going to give up is our identity. Like we're good without the puck. As much as I know it's an only exhibition game. I think they haven't had their chances, but it wasn't from any system. It was just an individual mistake. I like that, and we don't duplicate mistakes. So I don't want to give up that stuff to have some guy diving down all the time. We got to just be careful. But I do like the fact that have the confidence to go down or to go through the slot, knowing that a guy's backed me up. I think that's something that's going to take some time.
With Kiefer, we saw last year with Puce, he could play in the bottom six, he could play in the top six. Is that kind of what you see from Kiefer through these games?
Yeah. I mean, there might be sometimes he might be with Pedersen. He might be up the odd time, you never know. You know, you throw him up on that line. You throw him. You know, I thought he played really well with Teddy last night. There's some chemistry there in Baines, or you know with Hoggy. You know, I think he's a mixture of guy where you can play him anyway. Penalty kill. Sometimes he'll be on the power play. You know, so he's a guy that I can count on in different situations to put him out there 4-on-4. You know, maybe 5-on-6. We're trying to protect the lead when the other team pulls a goalie. I mean, there's not a situation. I don't think. You know, listen, I've known him for 3 weeks, but I've watched video that I think that I'm not as scared to use him.
Is he the kind of guy that you could move to a line that maybe is trending in the wrong direction and try and pull other guys into the fight and provide a spark? Like, do you see him kind of in the similar role that you've used Garland in?
Yeah, that's a good example. Him and Garland are those types. They can, if you need some juice, you can throw those guys in there because you know they're motor guys and they, you know, sure he gets under people's skin. And you know what, Garland does too. You know, when he wins puck battles in the corner against 6'5" guys, I mean it pisses guys off. So I think that's why they're successful when they get thrown in different lines.
Rick, even before the injury the other night, what did you sort of made of Pia Suter's camp and preseason? I know he scored an empty net goal in the first game, but face-offs were a bit of a struggle for him. Had it been a quiet camp?
Yeah, I think it's you always give the veterans the benefit of the doubt. You know, I think with Suits, he's got to keep working on his condition and pushing the pace. I thought, you know, he's worked hard in camp, but he's got to keep pushing himself. That's but he's you know, like he can play the wing, center. He's a good hockey IQ guy. So you know, he's never satisfied, and you know, you're never satisfied. That's how you push yourself. So, you know, this is it's go time for everybody, and I think he's one of those guys too.